And I am on. We should be on YouTube now. You got to pick the right stuff. I did not intend to be on Twitter. I intended to be on YouTube. Wow, you see how that happened? I was like, why is there nobody in this stream? 0 peoples. Where the peoples? Where is the peoples? And it turns out that the peoples were waiting on me. Yeah, they're waiting on me. Sorry about that, everybody who's coming in from YouTube. I thought I selected YouTube. Turns out I selected Twitter. Don't necessarily go live on Twitter. So that's people are like, what are you doing? We don't usually see you over here. Who are you? Who are these people? Who are these people? Looks like we got some folks starting to move in now. Need to turn on the calendar. Turn on the. Where are we? There we go. That has thrown off my whole flow. That threw off my whole flow. Starting up this morning. It's all right, though. We keep it pushing. This is the fun of technology. Right? That's what this is. The fun stuff of technology. Let's open up some trading view so we have some, at least we have some charts we can look at this morning as the bell rings and opens up. Click, click, click. You know, I use StreamYard, and StreamYard allows you to stream to multiple places at one time. So through StreamYard, I can stream to Facebook, I can stream to YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I can actually stream to a lot of places all at one time. That's actually I consider it a pretty powerful little product where you can stream to more than one place. One thing is you have to make sure that you get all the places set up properly. And I call myself setting it up, and I was clicking. YouTube and Twitter are right next to each other. I thought I had selected YouTube, but I selected Twitter. So here we are. We really didn't open down today. Like we opened in the you opened down here and then came up. So there was a gap down open this morning. Let me take off some of these lines so that way when we put our new stuff back on, we know what we're looking at. Right? We opened up down here. Let me take that off. We opened up this morning. It looks like opened at 46.96. This candle has an open of 46.96.30 is where we opened this morning. And we're on, let me put us on the 2-minute chart so we can kind of get a better indication as to what's happening. The market's been open about 5 minutes. It gapped down a little bit and filled that gap. Don't know if Anand is here, but that's what we call a Globex gap, basically, where it opens, it gaps up or down in the pre-market. And then when it opens with a gap up or down, and then the gap automatically begins to fill. Globex is basically gaps that are created in other places than in other markets besides ours. So it's like a global or Globex market. That's what that's all about. Okay, so let's go check one more time in the stuff I was doing all by myself. I was hanging out all by myself, you all, because you weren't here. Yes, good. And you understood what I was saying. Good morning, by the way. The VIX is up at 14.1 this morning. It's up a little bit. I had gone through my little spiel and was wondering why was the people not here? Where the people, Jesus? Where the people? But you all were waiting on me to decide to figure out which technology place. Don't say nothing, Jamie. I know you're probably on there in your head, tisking, going, I try to tell you about technology. Okay, so the VIX is up 14.10. basically. We looked at that stuff already. Let's look, see, CNBC. The European markets are all green this morning, right? Or from their market, they were all green. And the Asian markets are all red. Hey, Kat, good morning. The Asian markets are all red. ASX 200 down 0.39%. Nikkei down 0.54%. Kospi down 0.78%. Hang Seng, which is the Hong Kong index, is flat basically. And Shanghai is down 0.43. China leads losses in Asia. They're trying to get us to trip up. China leads losses in Asia as investors assess Fed minutes. Yesterday, the Fed minutes came out at 2 o'clock yesterday. Let's go take a look and see what happened after the Fed minutes came out. Let me change it to 15 here. This was looking at yesterday's charts. Fed minutes came out in this window right here. See, we got this big green candle making you think, up and away. This was 215 candle. And then it dropped the rest of the day. This is why you have to be very mindful. We were talking yesterday on the call about being very mindful about being pumped up. And then you look up and realize that the pump was just a place to pump you up, get people in this first 15-minute window thinking we were going to the moon, and jumping in calls just so they can hit and snatch your money back. That's what this is. You jump in a call, this 2 o'clock candle, 2:15 candle, this huge green. Oh yeah, boy, we finna go. And then it hit to close this gap. Basically, what it did was close the gap between the morning. This was the morning gap down from yesterday. It basically closed this gap. And once this gap was closed, because the top of a gap is resistance, it hit it and said, whoo, let's go down for the rest of the day. I'm going down. The rest of the day, it went on down. Right? And anybody who had calls in here basically lost their money in short order. Jobless claims this morning at 8:30, then PMI in 5 minutes. Yes, ma'am. Our calendar, Thursday, today is Thursday. I've got my days straight now. Got my days straight. We are, this is Thursday. Challenger job cuts, looks like it was down at 7:30 this morning, down 20.2%. Non-farm employment change was 164. They anticipated it to be 120. So this is green. Unemployment claims 202, which means it's down. They anticipated 217,000 claims. They got 202,000 claims. Right. So this is a improvement from last time, and it's better than what they anticipated. This column right here is what they anticipated it to be. 9:45, we're going to get final services PMI. It's about 4 minutes. These are all yellow folders for the rest of the day. Natural gas storage, crude oil inventories. Even though crude oil inventory shows as a yellow folder, I do believe it's more of an orange. What's going on with the oil does have a little bit more impact than this little bitty yellow candle says. It really has a different set of impact than this yellow, but it's still coming up at 11 o'clock. All right, coming up at 11 o'clock. See what SPX is doing here before we move on to looking at we can look at the 5-minute chart now. So we look at some SPX numbers. The open was here. It opened, like I said, 46.96. Gone up a little bit. Now we got a little bit of a pullback. All right, waiting for 5 more minutes for the next thing to hit. Let's add ourselves to the stage. Coming to the stage is earnings. Earnings this morning, we told you we had Walgreens Boots, which is this morning. And Walgreens Boots, they actually did say that they beat their earnings, but then they cut their dividend, which that probably won't be happy. The people who hang out with them for dividends probably won't be too happy about that. Conagra, RPM, Lindsay, Simply Good, this recycling, I think it's Radius Recycling. Then we got a couple people coming after market closes today. Let's look here what Adam Mancini, we get this off of Twitter, which may be how I ended up picking the Twitter this morning because I was getting Adam Mancini's number. He actually trades ES futures, not SPX, but there's about a 40-point gap between those two. So we adjust the numbers to match for SPX and then for XSP. And we utilize that to help you during the day with where the price potentially won't go. Again, Adam Mancini is a level-to-level trader, so he's going to give levels along the way. We're looking for where price won't go for the day. And if you are a level-to-level buyer or trader, then here's some help, right? We are 3 red days in a row in SPX. Yesterday, 47.27 failure triggered a sale, and my target was 47.04. We finally hit it exactly late day. We have spent all night right here. Plan today, 47.06 and 46.98 are supports. As long as the 47.06 keeps hold, then 47.17, 47.27 to 31 plus is in play. 46, if 46.98 fails, then you sail to 46.68. So if you're looking at outside numbers, for those of us who look at seller numbers and where the stock won't go, probability out of the money is what we're interested in. We're interested in being out of the money. If you're looking on XSP, it's saying you're going to go up as high potentially as 473 on the call side and 466 on the put side. If you're looking on SPX, you're saying you can go up as high, potentially in play, to 47.31 plus. It could go a little higher. Or if it fails, if 46.98 fails, then 46.68 could be your next leg or your next level down. Okay? For those who trade spot to spot, probably one of the best ways to trade if you're a buyer. I'm not a buyer. I coach sellers. But if you're a buyer, you level to level does make kind of the most sense. But as a seller, which I like better because I don't have to watch it, I don't have to enter at no special time, and this needed to expire at the end of the day, not at my strike. That's really what, as a seller, you just kind of, time decay is your friend. You're letting the time pass and letting the premiums decay as you take in your money at the beginning. We get paid to trade as sellers. And we trade credit spreads usually. It's not all that we do, but we trade credit spreads usually. Okay. We talked a little bit about going left. 1 to 2 strategies, and get yourself focused on your fundamentals. Focus on fundamentals, right? This coming weekend, we do have, starting this weekend, actually, Chart Your Way to 100K 4-week boot camp. That is coming up. The first session will be this Saturday at 11 o'clock. I chose Saturday because during the week, the market is open and people can't concentrate when the market is open. And then we get to the evenings, people have life that happens after their day jobs and the day things and whatever else. So I chose Saturday. That way we can learn in a space. You know, I know life goes on Saturdays too, but you got the opportunity to carve out a couple of hours on a Saturday, more so than you're probably doing a daytime week. And this coming week's session will include charting basics, candlestick patterns, candlesticks, little ones. When do you enter based on what you see in the candles? That's what we're doing this week. We're going to lean in on exactly when do you enter. There are really 3 good times to enter. We'll talk about that this weekend. There are three times you should enter a trade. And if you know which 3 times those are, share with us in the chat. There are 3 times you really should enter a trade. 3 times you should enter a trade. All right. That's coming up this weekend. Go chart your way to 100K. HTTP chart your way to 100K.com. and get yourself registered for the boot camp for this. It starts this weekend. It's going to go every Saturday for the month of January, and we're going to increase our profits, set up the fundamentals, and we can use that for the rest of the year and years future. Not just this year, but the rest of the years to come, because we're trading for, hopefully you trading for the long haul, and this is not a passing fancy for you. And there's so many different ways to trade. You can trade as a investor where you buy and hold. You still need to understand how to work a chart and work fundamentals. right? You can decide you're going to trade, buy and sell just stocks, short-term versus and long-term, short-term, medium-term, long-term. You can buy and sell stocks today. For today, you can buy and sell stocks that are swing over a day or so. You can buy and sell stocks over a longer period of time. That's you still need charting. You still need those fundamentals. You can decide, I want to trade options. I want to be a buyer of options. You need charting fundamentals. I want to be a seller of options. You need charting fundamentals. I want to do leaps. I want to do covered calls. I want to do cash secure puts. You still need charting fundamentals. Okay, I want to be a day trader. I want to do 0 DTE. You need to know how to chart. All these things, all the stuff I just mentioned, you're going to need all of these no matter what trading thing or what strategy you're using. They all need charting fundamentals. You need to know moving averages if you're going to use those, indicators, volume, candlestick patterns, chart patterns, trends, how to identify trends. What things should you do for different strategies? What I chart for as a seller, it may not be the same thing that somebody charts for as a buyer. What I chart for as a seller for the weekly trades may not be the same thing you're looking for if you're charting as a seller for daily, if you're just going to trade today. But I want you to help everybody. I want to be able to help as many people as can be helped to understand and have confidence in your own decision-making abilities so that you're not just following what other people say. There's people all across the internet who are calling out plays and calling out trades. And some people are following them and making money. But what you always see in those communities is there's somebody calling out the trades, and there's usually somebody else who's kind of showing and talking fundamentals, and people are gravitating toward the person who's sharing more in the charting and the fundamentals because people really want to know that and need to know, how do I make these decisions for myself? How do you decide? Not just that so-and-so said we should. How do you decide that this stock is a good one or this stock is a good one now? How do you understand? How do you know that this particular trade is a good one? Okay. Thank you, Tiffany. Yeah, we're going to do it on Saturday so people can get in and focus a little bit for a couple of hours. All right. I didn't mean to stay on that as long as I did, but I know if you're making money, which a lot of people are, you're doing okay. You're making money, but I'm telling you, if you get some charting fundamentals and things down, how to read stock charts down, you're gonna make even more money. And that's really what we're after. We're trying to scale this thing. That's what we're trying to do. Okay, so looking at our SPX chart, I'm going to switch us over to the 15-minute because we can look now to see what is our, if we're looking to do maybe a potential breakout. I'm going to put this here. Oh, nope, that ain't what I wanted. Nope, I didn't want you. I did not want you. There we go. I wanted a different. Nope, I don't want a horizontal ray. Sorry, horizontal line. I'm putting something on the top and the bottom of the first 15-minute candle because that's going to let us know for the breakout. For those in my community who trade 0 DTE, which is a big thing that we do 0 DTE on SPX and XSP. Where's this? Here we go. 0 DTE on SPX and XSP. Strategy for SPX can be found at spxplaybook.net. Oh, it's not going to like that. .net for $27. Okay. 0 D. So those of you who are really wanting to work on generating daily profits as a seller, I teach it as a seller, obviously. So we're using credit spreads to enter places where we don't think the price will go. But the breakout strategy we use is we break out that first 15-minute candle, and then we use, let me see, I want breakout zone. Then we use the PDT hack to lock in your profits. You lock in your profits after you realize that the breakout is a direction then you lock in your profits using the PDT hack. That keeps you from using your day trades. That keeps us from having to use our day trades. We lock in our profits. And if the trade turns against you, you get to lock in a smaller loss, so you don't have to end up with max loss. Right? You do that. Well, I want to welcome y'all to the morning call. Welcome y'all here to the morning call. We're here every morning. This week we're here every morning. I want us I've moved the community to YouTube for our 9:30 call. We used to do this call on Zoom, but I wanted to open it up to more people. If you want to continue to see or be a part of this morning call, you're going to need to sign up for the booster level of the membership on YouTube. So that way you can continue to see the morning call. Of course, my membership, I have a full membership, and that membership includes the morning call Wednesday evening. Yesterday, we had a call where we talked about, we really reset or revisited, and some people created a trading plan yesterday, a trading plan that's going to help us go through the year. We went with the trading plan to get us going through the year. Okay, we created that together as a unit. We meet every Wednesday evening for different trainings. That's how we serve the community on a weekly basis. And then on the first Saturday of the month, we usually have a coaching call. This January, we're going to start with we're starting with the Chart Your Way to 100K. But the folks who are members are able to join and participate in that also. So that becomes our coaching for this month. And then we'll have, of course, all month with that. But usually we have coaching on first Saturday. And then we have a live Telegram, an exclusive Telegram. I won't call it live. We have an exclusive Telegram group where we trade together. We're all in there together hanging out. And if people need help or guidance or things with their managing the strategies, it's just a community of traders, basically. But it's dedicated. I'm there to help guide and provide, direction and guidance, as well as answer questions. That's all a part of the membership. All a part of the E2T membership. So if you want to, be a part of that, definitely go over and get signed up. Get signed up with that. Okay. All righty. Let's go to look at some of our charts. We had some stocks this week that we wanted to see how they were doing. At this point, SPX is kind of trying to act like it wants to break out a bit. Exxon was one of the trades. Exxon was one of the stocks that we looked at on our graphic. I'm going to show this graphic real quick. So that way, those who follow us every week, I put out this graphic where we put out call credit spreads, put credit spreads. I usually include cash secure puts and covered calls on here too. I didn't put it on here this time because we were just coming off of the credit spreads challenge from December, which was really good, the Christmas credit spreads challenge. But Exxon we have here for 102, 103 was Exxon as a call credit spread, but Exxon decided it was ready to get moving. I think after we opened up on Tuesday, though, we came back and revisited Exxon and decided it might have been better as a put credit spread. What else did we look at on here? We looked at Mara, I think, yesterday. Let's check Carvana. And I did XLK. Is XLK on here? Why did I feel like I did XLK, XLF? Let's see. If you see something on that list that you're interested in looking at, let's take a look. Mara and those, all the crypto related stocks are seeming to have had a little bit of a downward ride for the past couple of days. I told y'all yesterday I got a little bit of I won't call it a conspiracy theory, but I got a little bit of a theory about that. This PCS, you're doing you're doing credit spreads, put credit spreads, call credit spreads. You just need to get below support and above resistance. And this support is 19. You probably could go with 20 because it's at 1988. So I'm going to go with 20 right here. Probably could do a PCS underneath this gap. Actually, the current price is here. The support, as you can tell, is 2070. So you really can get right under right under this support right here. I'm gonna put another line here just to show that that is the support. I want to turn it black. And this is support. Daily support. Might not be a bad one to look at for today to see what Mara is up here now. Maybe daily support, put you a PCS, a put credit spread underneath this support area. This is the call credit spread resistance is kind of high, kind of a high place to be for you to look at doing a call credit spread, not for any premiums. Remember, we put the line on so we can see the turns, the peaks and valleys. It's a little far away for the call credit spread. For there to be money, this is 31. There may not be premiums up here for tomorrow's expiration because, you know, the good thing about selling credit spreads or selling at all is time decay is your friend. So the closer you can get to expiration, the better. That way you, especially if you can get your 10% premiums, that's the whole thing. You want to get at least 10% in premiums when you do that. Let's look at Carvana, see what Carvana's talking about. We'll go look at Apple after this too. We can go look at Apple because Apple's had a rough couple of days. So it's Carvana. What's going on with Carvana as far as charting? Looks like our resistance is up here. There's another resistance line in here. Wherever price stops, stalls, or reverses, those are called support and resistances. I'm putting this in here, change it to a dash line and make it green. For me, I remember that the green is the gap. Green for gaps. A few of these, Carvana has a gap here, and gaps. This gap will provide resistance at the top of this gap because there are sellers hanging out in there. It's a seller's gap. So there's sellers hanging out inside of a seller's gap. I put a little note here, so you'll know that that's what's going on in there. There's a seller's gap. And then I need to duplicate it so I can put another one, clone. Thank you. This is also a seller's gap. Okay. Current price is down here at $45.91. Coming into support. Let's see, what is this line here? Support is going to be in this zone. Even though I'm only putting a line here, you need to know that these support and resistance areas are zones. They're not necessarily hard numbers. They're zones. All right. So we've got a support, a consolidation zone here that's pretty strong. Oh, no, I don't want you there. I want you here. Support. You. There we go. Support zone is what's here. Okay. So if you're thinking about trading Carvana, really you shouldn't enter this trade till it gets down to where it hits the support zone, right? Or it goes up to a resistance zone. That's really what you want. You want to make sure that you're entering. That was the hint from my question earlier. One of the 3 times is when you're hitting a support zone or resistance zone. That's when you should enter your trades. That's one of the times. That's one of the times. At this point, Carvana is really kind of in the middle. It's kind of in the middle of what's going on here. So if you're looking to enter this trade for tomorrow, then you can look at the daily chart, but you can also go to a smaller time frame or shorter time frame because you're only planning on being in the trade for a day. If you enter today with expiration tomorrow, you're only going to be there for a day. So you really can. Oh, thank you, Sandra. There we go. I'm talking about stuff and we can't see it. Thank you. Appreciate you. I can see my phone. So what I was saying was that when it's in the middle here, you should wait till it's here or there. But if you're looking for entry for tomorrow, you can go to a shorter time frame. Maybe you bring this down to a 30-minute time frame or a 1 hour time frame. Find your supports and resistances there, and then you enter the trade based on the support and resistance of those smaller time frames. Right now, we're on the daily chart. We're on the daily chart right now. I think there was probably people in here in the comments saying, we can't see the chart. You talking about stuff we can't see. Chart screening. Thank you, Tabar. Chart screening. Miss Cat said Upstart is struggling. Yeah, we're going to look at that one too. So this is, so you'd go maybe to, take this down to a smaller time frame. Maybe we go down to an hour. If you're entering today for tomorrow, but if you're entering a trade today, let's Thursday, right? And you want to enter for next week, right? Then you want to still stay on the daily chart. But if you're only going to be in the trade for about 24 hours, you can also look at smaller time frames and see if there's other entry points on shorter, smaller time frames. Okay. All righty. Let's look at Upstart. What did we have on our Upstart? Our numbers on Upstart. 36.5, 37.5 on a put credit spread. 37.5. Got all kind of stuff here from previous times when we've talked about Upstart. It's definitely struggling. It didn't do too well with that 37.5 is it's definitely through that. This gap down, gap and what I guess everything's, I'm telling y'all, I really believe that the people are pulling their money out of some of these stocks so that they can move it to other places. That's my theory. And that's all it is a theory, but that is my theory and my slightly experienced opinion. A lot happened up here. This was a zone. It hung out here for a while, though. Then it decided, I'm going down. Let's see what kind of support we got. There's some support in here. So it's coming into support. This may be a time where you may look at Upstart to see when it comes into the support area and it does a turn, that then you look at put credit spreads or buying calls. As it comes into the zone, you sell a put credit spread or buy a call. Really depends on what kind, or a call debit spread. Really depends on what strategy you're trading. I don't really do much buying, but buying, if you're hitting a support, that's where you should buy a call going back up. But I think you want to confirm that it's actually doing that. You want to confirm that it's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. Turn this to a line so I can make sure. Yep. See all in here? This whole area all in here in the 33.59 lets you know that there's some support in there. If you look back at it, you see even back here in August, this same zone that it's coming into now provided resistance because price basically went below it and then it became resistance. It was support first, and it became resistance. It was resistance, it went on up, and now it's going to provide support. These two, support and resistance, are interchangeable, right? When the price is below it, it's resistance. When price is above it, then it's support. Okay, but you want to confirm after confirmation. Sometimes we get a little anxious, and this is the hardest thing, the patience of waiting to enter a trade. Ooh, Jesus, help us all. Help us all with the patience to enter a trade. Because a lot of times we want the trade to be ready. And I'm saying we includes me. I'm we. I want to enter the trade when I'm looking at the trade. Yeah, I like, I know I should wait, but who wants to do that? I'm anticipating. I'm excited. I'm going to get in here, see how it goes. And you jump in. Yeah. I already know. Y'all know it's y'all too. It's not just me. You can put it on the chat. You can say me too. Me too. You should be able, you can't see my chart now? You should be able to see it. Right? I'm sharing the chart screen. Yeah. Y'all know it's y'all too. It's not just me. Not just me. Okay, so that was Upstart. I'm gonna look at one more and then we're gonna press on. Google was on our list. I think I might want to look at Google more than I want to look at Amazon. But charting is something that's really important, that you make sure if you're looking at certain stocks that you watch regularly, you're going to want to chart those regularly. You want to put your supports, your resistance, check your trend lines. You want to do all of that stuff. Yeah, you want to do all of that stuff regularly. This is Google. Google got lots of lines on it. I don't know if I like that. Let me clear the chart. I put all these lines and then I forget why I have so many on here. There we go. So this is Google. This is Google. Google's got a lot of gapping up and down too. Y'all see that? Let's put some lines on the chart. See what we see. It's got some gaps up in here. Gap, 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 gap. This is support down in here. Time is it? Okay, 10:09. Have an appointment coming soon. Don't want to be late. Know how you can be home and have a full schedule. Go back in the classroom next week, though. Back to the university. Anybody ready for some pre-calculus? Next week, that's what's happening next week. And some college algebra. We got any college algebra fans in the room? Or those people who usually are a love it, hate it kind of thing with math. They either love it or they don't. That's usually what happens with math. People love it or hate it. I fall into the love it category, seeing that I am a math professor. I fall into the love it category. You changed your major because of Calc 2. Yes, child. Calc 2 made me decide. I'm an engineer by degree and by experience. I'm a mechanical engineer. I did that for about 10 years. I worked as a no longer than that. I did it longer than that. I graduated from college in 92 and I worked as an engineer until 2006. That's what, 14 years? I worked as an engineer for 14 years. And Calculus 2 was one definitely would make you turn back. I failed it the first time, which was devastating because I've never failed a class ever. I failed Calc 2 in college, which I won't say it was my fault, but I had the teacher I had for Calc 1 wasn't great. So when I took Calc 2, I decided to just stick with the same teacher I knew, but she really wasn't a great teacher for Calc 1. I really should have changed teachers, but I didn't. I decided to kind of stick with the teacher I knew. And then Calc 2, it got more confusing because it was harder. And so I failed it with that teacher and I went and got a different teacher for the summer, passed it with an A because the teachers matter. In case you were wondering, teachers matter. Teachers matter. Okay, let's look at what could possibly be happening here. So I got a new teacher in college for the Calc 2 and I passed it with an A after that. Then and Calc 3 was much easier. Calc 3 is like you're on the other side of the mountain. Calc 2 is the mountaintop. Calc 1 is you're climbing the mountain. Calc 2 is the peak, and then Calc 3 is going on the other side of the mountain. So once I got across the peak, I was okay, but I was also very determined not to fail another class. My daddy was, sacrificing for me to be in college. I wasn't trying to be wasting up nobody's money, and I wasn't trying to waste my time because I was trying to graduate. I was trying to get graduated. Okay, so if you're looking at Google, you may be able to do an iron condor, which I probably would take this a little bit higher. I wouldn't get that close. Even though this gap will serve as resistance, I would get above the gap. And for the put credit spread, I would probably get in here or below this, depending on the premiums. See what could be an offer here for Google. I call it Google. Okay. Make sure there's nothing else I wanted to cover. Oh, I don't want to go back SPX to see if we see a breakout thing happening. Last move. We usually enter 0 DTE stuff on SPX around 10:15, 10:30, right? You give SPX a chance to do its thing. Give it a chance to do its thing before you go running in, because if as a seller, you've got time on your side. So there's no reason to go rushing in when you're a seller, right? You can decide where is the price going? Where is it potentially not going? It has definitely broken out of the zone. Looks like if you see here, we're on a breakout, trending upwards. When you're trending upwards, you can look at a put credit spread. And then you can, don't forget to use your PDT hack to set the call credit spread side. If you don't know what I'm talking about with the PDT hack, you're going to need to check out some resources. Let me see if I got a thing here that talks about the PDT hack. I don't think I do. One of my banners talk about the PDT hack. I don't think I do. PDT hack, you can check on my website on PDT. It's basically a way for you to save your day trades. I think it's on sale actually for $17. Oh, come on, my fingers getting in the way. It's a ebook resource. It tells you how to use the PDT hack to set and lock in your profits. That's what you're using the PDT hack for, to set your trade, lock in your profits, and let it expire worthless, so that way you don't have to use a day trade, because you don't want to get into PDT problems and PDT issues because you've used too many day trades in a short span of time if your account is not over $25,000. Right? In order to do credit spreads, you got to be in a margin account. Inside of a margin account, you got to have at least 25,000 for the day trade designation to not matter. But if you have less than 25K, you need to be mindful and preserve your day trades. PDT hack is at my website. It's a resource, a very good one, by the way. Not just saying that because I created it. I just know it's a good resource to lock in your profits, and then lock in a smaller loss if you in the situation that you need to. You don't have to sit there and suffer max loss just because the trade goes against you, and you're then trying to figure out what to do. You don't have to sit there and painfully watch the rest of the day because you don't have no day trades left, and you don't want to close it yourself, but then you're watching your money fly out the window. You can use the PDT hack to help you with that. Okay. I believe I've covered everything I was supposed to cover, and yet there is room. Yet there is trader room. Okay. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Chart your way to 100K is coming up this weekend. Go ahead and get registered for that. If you want to continue to watch the morning calls with us on YouTube every day, you're going to need to either sign up for the membership, which is with me, which is $97 and includes everything that goes in my membership, or you're going to need to sign up with the booster on YouTube so you can see the morning call only if you do the booster level on YouTube. And it tells you there what's included in the membership. You can see on YouTube, it tells you how to sign up to be a member and all this kind of stuff. That should, I believe it's all underneath there, and you can find it down there if you want. Okay. We do two things in this community. We do two things with my folks. We hang out together, of course, and we help each other and we support each other. That's one of the three things we do. The other two things we do is we stay green and we get this money. All right. We will be back on again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat station. I will get the YouTube thing right. I'll make sure to click the right streaming place. And I'll be on about 9:25. All right. All righty. So I will see you all in the market. See you in the market. Goodbye, everyone.